Donald Trump's tariffs aren't just hurting Americans. They're souring America's relationships with our allies, straining intricate alliances that were for decades. This nonsense, folks, is even driving allies into the arms of our mutual rival, with reports last week that China is seeking to coordinate a response to the tariffs with Japan and South Korea. And Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, introducing a 25% tariff on U.S. vehicles, while also exploring a coalition of like-minded countries for trade alternatives without its closest neighbor saying, quote, "We can do better than the United States." Joining us now is Canadian Minister of International Trade and Intergovernmental Affairs, Dominic LeBlanc. Welcome, sir.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Very good to see you. So there has been a lot of conversation in America about how we are treating our neighbors to the south, Mexico, and our neighbors to the north, you all, Canada. I'm wondering, where does the Canadian government stand at this hour? Are you more, the Congress in our country seems very amenable to working with you all directly to, they don't necessarily share the president's economic ire that he seems to have for the Canadians. Is that a viable path for you? What are the conversations?
So thank you for the question. We certainly, I think many Canadians, including myself, were touched by some of the senators representing border states. I represent a district on the east coast of Canada, right up against the border of the state of Maine, to see Senator Collins and her colleagues standing up in the Senate and saying that it's not in the economic or security interest of their country to have this kind of dispute with Canada, I think was reassuring, because we believe that too. Canadians deeply, deeply respect the United States, the connections. As I think everybody, I hope people in the United States know, the connections are deeply personal for so many Canadians. In my case, I studied there. I have cousins, first cousins that live there. People do business there. Millions of Canadians visit the United States. So the relationships are so personal with the American people. I think what Canadians are struggling with is why the Trump administration would seek to do such damage to our economy. Stellantis, which is a huge automobile company, as you know, laid off 3,600 people in Windsor, right across the bridge from Detroit, this past week. So, and this is just the beginning, sadly, of what these tariffs will mean to our economy. I believe, as some United States representatives do and business leaders that I've seen, that it may also be difficult for the American economy. So our hope is that you asked the question, what is the state of the conversation? I speak to Secretary Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, who would sort of be my counterpart in these conversations. We have a professional, cordial, collegial conversation, and have had for a number of months. But we're trying to find a way, and the Prime Minister wants, with the President, on the other side of our election, which is over in 3 weeks, whoever Canadians choose as the next Prime Minister, we'll need to sit down with President Trump and try and figure out if there's an economic deal that can get us out of this constant sort of turbulence, which is very, very counterproductive to investment in both countries, I would suggest.
And in the meanwhile, you're making that case directly to the American people. There is new reporting about the billboards that the government is paying for. This today from the New York Times. The billboards aren't paid for by an industry trade group or a political action committee, but rather by the sovereign, for now, Government of Canada, a point that is noted in the not-so-fine print. So some of the phrases: tariffs are a tax on groceries, tariffs are a tax at the gas pump, tariffs are a tax on hardworking Americans. How did you come to the decision to make this argument directly to the American people?
So a number of Canadian provincial leaders, so our premiers, the equivalent of your governors, the premier of our biggest province, Ontario, is Doug Ford, recently re-elected with a big majority government to have a mandate to try and counter the tariff moves of the United States. So he's been the subnational, the government of the province of Ontario has been advertising a lot in the United States. He's been a lot on American television networks. We believe that ultimately what may change the mind of President Trump and his administration is the economic consequences of these decisions for the United States, but also the sentiment of the American people. We believe, and I hope it's accurate, that the American people don't understand why the American administration would want to take this fight to their best ally, closest trading partner, most important security partner, and their closest neighbor. There are real challenges in the world, China, some challenges in the Middle East, of course, that we want to deal with collaboratively and in partnership with the United States. This seems to be a better expenditure of our collective energy than sort of tariffing and counter-tariffing, as a sovereign country will do when its economy is attacked. The United States of America. It's sort of like a race to the basement that we're on, and it's not something that we think is particularly productive for either economy. So we hope that the American people and some political leaders will be able to convince President Trump and his administration that it's much better if we partner together on so many security and economic issues than spend the time sort of pulling the covers to one side of the bed all the time. It doesn't seem to be the most productive way to spend our time.
Okay, well, they're pulling the covers off the bed at this point, Minister.
Trying to leave y'all in the cold.
It's a lot colder here in the United States than it is.
Exactly, sir. So, look, I really do appreciate your sense of, optimism, in quotation marks, around this idea of the U.S. coming to the table and recognizing through conversation and engagement why these tariffs are so bad. I'm not going to hold out for that recognition by this team. You have a president with a 1930s view of our economy, who believes, because he read a book somewhere at some point that said tariffs, and he's stuck. And so I think something you said earlier for me is really the sort of the new engagement level that is going to be interesting to watch. We had Congressman Robert Garcia from California yesterday, and we were talking about how states like California are now beginning to carve out a more independent relationship with our economic allies, like Canada, where they're more directly saying to Canada, look, we're not down with this crazy on this tariff stuff. We're not doing this. So just you and I talk about how we, as the seventh largest economy in the world, right, in California, can partner and work with a country like Canada. And last point, the New York Times put in quotation marks in reference to Canada as a sovereign nation for now. I'm here to say Canada's a sovereign nation, period. So this idea that somehow you're going to be the 51st state, can we just stop that level of stupid and get beyond that stuff that sort of fires people up irrationally, to recognize the fact that economically is where the play is going to be for both Canada and I think individual states along our northern border and places like California.
So I would agree that there's a huge opportunity, and we've seen the comments from the representatives from California. I saw Governor Newsom also on an American television network. Sure, the economy of Canada, I think, is reasonably similar in size to the economy of the state of California. So these are encouraging comments. I think that for Canadian business leaders looking to expand or looking to have new markets and partnerships, it would be very encouraging to see leaders from states as important as California, and there are many others. As you said, the northern border states have been great allies for a long time. The challenge is, and this is that these tariff applications, of course, are the jurisdiction of the national government of the United States. So it's the president and the House of Representatives and the Senate and Congress that are in a position to affect some of these decisions. But I know that Canadian business leaders are very encouraged by these voices that have been, frankly, speaking up more in the last few weeks than the last few months. And as I say, these are relationships that exist for decades. If I think of a great American president like Ronald Reagan, who signed the first free trade agreement with our late Prime Minister Brian Mulroney 40 years ago, and I imagine these giants of global politics seeing the sort of controversy and confusion that we're in now, it would be very distressing for them. And your point about the 51st state, you're absolutely right. Those comments We would obviously appreciate very much that those comments stop. Canadians, it does get an emotional reaction to Canadians as citizens of a sovereign country that wants to be the best partner, economic and security partner that the United States can have, because it's in our interest, and we believe the interest of the United States that be the posture. This is why some of these conversations become more complicated when there's that constant public sort of adding fuel to a fire that should not even be burning. So that sort of makes it harder for us, and we in Canada believe that that's not in any way a realistic option or a conversation that we're of course prepared to have in any way. But it does go and get an emotional reaction in Canada, very understandable, that perhaps isn't the most conducive way to come to a business and security arrangement.
I have a question. When you have your prime minister talking about the possibility of a coalition of like-minded countries, can you tell us which other countries you were having that conversation with?
I know the prime minister, the new prime minister, my new boss, Mark Carney, within a few days of becoming prime minister, before the election started 2 weeks ago, went to the United Kingdom and France. You can imagine those two countries in particular have a very significant role in the founding of what is now modern-day Canada. So those relationships are historic and very deep with France and with the United Kingdom. I know he speaks with the president of the European Commission. There's obviously opportunities. The problem is there's a big ocean between us, right? If I think of businesses on the east coast of Canada, the district I represent, if you want to manufacture windows and doors or tissue paper or other, it's a lot easier to send it on a train or a truck to the United States than put it on a boat in Halifax and send it to Rotterdam. So geography has made us very, very integrated trading partners, and that's a good thing. But the Prime Minister has decided deliberately that if we're not able to rely on the United States, as we have for decades, around free trade agreements that were signed in good faith, if the administration decides to impose these tariffs in a way that we believe is unwarranted and illegal, we'll follow the process under these treaties to adjudicate that. It would be irresponsible for the government of Canada not to see other economic trading opportunities. It could be with Mexico, but it could also, of course, be with some of the growing economies in Asia and Southeast Asia. So that's very much the work. If our government is returned to office, we'll know in 3 weeks we'll be the government of Canada. But the next government of Canada will, we think, have to take a real leading role with Canadian business and see if there's an opportunity to diversify in a way that for 40 years, frankly, successive governments didn't do.
Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who is well-versed, unlike congressional Republicans, in math and geography, thank you so much for being with us.